What up, guys? Jason Guyman, and tonight I got a special guest on. I've got his name's Matt or Luke or whatever you want to call him. He's got like three first names, and so you can call him whatever. But he is in the membership, and I he has a pretty awesome story, and I want to get the story out tonight so that way you can see how he can do. And we already got some awesome people in here tonight, so before we get started, so I am doing the 75 hard, and you have to remind me to read my book tonight. Even Matt say, don't forget to read your book tonight after we're done. I'm actually reading this book here. It's called The Bottom of the Pool. It's been very good. I've actually read quite a bit in this book. I mean, and this is the first time I've literally read a book. I'm not a book reader at all. I like to listen to books, but I'm doing 75 hard, and I'm on day 4. I completed day 4. Today is day 5, but I've got to read my book tonight or I will fail, and I don't want to fail, so don't let me forget to read my book. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is. But before we get started too far in here, we got some people on here, and let's see who all we got in here. And if you all have any questions for Matt or Luke, Matt, whatever you want to call him, don't be hesitant to ask, and he may ask me some questions later on too. But first off, we got Trisha, we got Mr. Chris Johnson. Let's go. I'm sure we'll talk about him with Matt. We got Wet Windows. We got Alvin. We got my computer. My comments being goofy. There we go. We've got It's Time to Win, and isn't that the truth? Hey everyone, we got Zerny in the house, F Bomb in the house, we got Australia in the house, Toby Chambers, how are you doing? And Peter. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's get this show on the road. Let's quit talking about Jason and let's talk about what we got going on here. Let's go, Matt. We got Mr. I got to hit him. Tristan is in the house. So a bunch of people know who Matt is, so that is pretty cool. But I know a bunch of people don't know Matt's story. And so that's what we want to get out tonight is Matt's story. So before we get started, I just want you to know that this podcast or this YouTube is brought to you by King of Pressure Wash. If you like to know more about it, well, I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about it because you get kingofpressurewash.com, and in there you will find all kinds of cool stuff. And Matt is on the Monday night marketings of every Monday night marketing, so that is what we do there, and that's where you will hear things that if we say stuff, it probably came from those Monday night marketings. And so just so you know, that's where it is. He hasn't been to one of my in-person trainings yet. He don't need to because he's killing it and he figured it out, but that's fine. There's some people that can figure it out, and some people just need to do the in-person trainings, and makes it for sure that hands down the best at pressure washing. All right, so let's get started. Matt, tell me a little bit about who are you and where you're from and all of that good stuff.
My name is Matthew Lucas. I go by Luke, but since I got a business, I tell all my customers my first name. So I'm Matt Luke. I can go by whatever. I'm from Springfield, Ohio. Starting out, I don't even know where to start at. But yeah, we came in. We started this business last year, January, and then it became the business February 14th. It finalized like into a LLC and all that.
So
And this is
let's
our,
talk a little bit about what did you do before you started the pressure washing business?
before I started the pressure washing business. I went down a rocky road. Like my whole life, it's been rocky for me. I started out, I got off on drugs and all the way up till I was 25. And then when I was 25, took a turn for the worse because then I started doing hard drugs up until I was about 30 and never did nothing. Like I said, I was on the street, all that before I started pressure washing. I went to rehab in Cincinnati and moved up there for about a year in sober living and got myself together and met my fiance. And we moved back to where I'm from now. And we got a factory job at like $20 an hour. And we both worked there for a year and saved up every dollar we had because we did not want to do factory work. And Yeah, we saved up our money, like I said, and then quit our job last January. We quit
So
our
there was
job.
nothing special about what you had gotten to be able to start this pressure washing business. Like you were a $20 an hour employee working at the place, and you were just getting along. And so, what made you think, man, I want to start a pressure washing business?
Tell you the truth, when we was in the factory, all I knew was I was buying a truck, and I didn't know what it was going to be. Like it could have been tree. So I've done tree service, I've done painting, I've done every type of work. I started seeing a bunch of videos about pressure washing, and I knew how to pressure wash. And yeah, like I said, we did it on a whim. Just quit my job the day I bought my truck, which was like I said, is not smart. I don't advise nobody to do what we did. The day I bought my truck, I quit my job. And I mean, it's still dead of winter. Like I couldn't work anyways, but I was tired of working in that factory job, like I said. So we just quit. And I'd been watching videos on pressure washing and went from there. Just bought all the equipment, not the smart way.
So once you got started, um, you did something unique. A lot of people don't do this, but I got to say hi to Jennifer because Mr. Mount Sterling put it on there, so I got to just do that for her. So make sure that she knows we're on here. But Annie gave me a super chat, so I appreciate the super chat. But you know, as we were starting this pressure washing business, and doing this, you did something that a lot of people will do, but they won't do it for very long and they're not very good at it. And you got very good at it. And this is kind of how you got to what you ended up doing your first year. So let's talk a little bit because everybody wants to know, how do I get customers, right? That's usually the number one question is, how do you get customers? And so when you first started, what was the things that you did to get customers?
When I first started, like I said, our business opened. Well, we finalized the LLC February 14th, and then we didn't have our first job till April 22nd. So I went all that time without no work, no nothing. I was watching you. I did buy yard signs, put yard signs out, but then we knocked every day. But it was a bad winter, so like with the weather and everything, we really wasn't able to get out and even do anything until April. And we knocked every single day. Like that was at yard signs and knocking. I had door hangers I'd put out while I was knocking, but yeah, it just was straight knocking last year. And it was Monday through Sunday. We didn't take no days off. We'd wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, go out, start knocking, and we didn't come home till it was dark. Like we'd knock from morning to night.
Now, let's talk about discouragement because this is something that a lot of people don't get. So, you did that pretty much all year for pressure washing last year, correct? Of the door knocking.
All year. Yep, that's what got us through.
So, let's talk a little bit. So, obviously, you didn't have a whole lot of cost other than gas and some door hangers, right? That's the only cost you had, and time, because time is something that you have when you don't have no jobs coming in.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about, did you get jobs every day, or was there days that you went, or a couple days that you went that you didn't get anybody?
Oh yeah, it was a couple of days. We actually just got out our calendar and started looking at last year, like what we was really doing. And I mean, there were some weeks we get 3 jobs, some weeks we got 4. There was very few days we'd work like 5 days a week. And I mean, like I said, that's going out from morning till night knocking. And it was me and my fiance both. So I'd hit one side of the street, she'd hit the other. So like that's double the people. Only one person out by themselves, you know what I mean? With us, there was 2. So
You
yeah,
know,
like I said, about 3, 4 days out of the week, we would get jobs.
I know, how long have you been in the membership? Do you know about how long you've been in? I didn't look it up.
Uh, I've been in and out, like, cause at first I wasn't committing, like I was watching you on everything, but I just didn't join. I think I joined like maybe 6 months ago.
Okay. So Chris Johnson is in a lot of them. He just posted, those who are hungry will find food, and those who are comfortable will starve slowly. And this is something that, and then he put get hungry. And the only reason why I'm bringing up Chris is because I know he has had, he's been a mentor to a lot of people in my group because he gives advice and stuff. And so I want to hit, and I know you've said you've learned stuff from him, and that's the only reason why I'm bringing him up too. Is how has he helped you in understanding what to do better?
You and him like have helped me beyond like from what I can, I can't even explain how thankful I am to both of you guys, because you put ideas in my head, like stuff I've never even thought of. Like I always have went to the dirty houses. I seen dirty houses, I knocked them doors. And there's been times where you said, go to the clean houses. Then people with dirty houses ain't trying to pay for it. The people with clean ones are. And that's paid off for me. Or with Chris, how he's helped is explaining to people, don't just take a no. When somebody's at the door and they're like, we got to talk to our husband, or no, we're not interested right now, get into it a little bit and don't just take no for an answer and walk away. Because with just learning that these last couple months, not letting all them people go, we've picked up just from that. Like the few times I've had to knock, like we went out there and raised our ticket. Also adding everything, all the services. I used to just go out and try to get a house wash and putting everything in a list and putting in the packages to get higher tickets.
So that's something that I always push is the higher tickets and adding everything, and that's something that is huge. But so obviously last year, you did pressure washing. You ended up doing, 55,000 in washing. About how many yard signs were you putting out last year?
Last year, I didn't put out that many. I only put out, I think, 500 yard signs from April till about October.
Gotcha. And so with that, most of your work came through door knocking, correct?
Yeah, all of it, because nobody knew who we was or none of that. Yeah.
And through that, you were able to just not do that, but you were able to work on getting your photos for your Google My Business and getting 5-star reviews, correct?
Yes, yes, that's a big thing as well when you're new. Yes, to get them pictures and get your 5-star reviews up, because that's really flourished this year, having them reviews and then people calling us this year because we got so many reviews now.
And that's something that I noticed about when you started the membership, because I was looking through your pictures, is when you actually started putting you in the pictures and your fiance, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we just used to do the plain house before and after. Now we get pictures of the truck, the signs, us, all that. Yep.
And has that helped you out?
That has a lot. Us being in the pictures personally, it makes it more, personable to the person. Like, because when we get calls, they'll be like, "Yeah, we seen so many things on your website about how you and Destiny are good people, and we seen you guys working on there." And I mean, people actually tell us now when they call us.
Because you not only did it to the Google My Business, you also put your photos on and you talk about yourself on your website, correct?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you can tell when people stay on your website and start learning about you because they love your story and love that you two work together, and that's your business. Is that pretty much how that works, right?
Oh yeah, they always are like, "How do you guys do it? You guys get along," because they see us at the house, and I'm like, "Well, yeah, we work it out." But I mean, it is good. Like I said, I wouldn't rather go to work with anybody else but her every day. Like I said, we're a good team. Like I said, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for her.
So obviously last year you did that. What did you do? So you had to door knock to get everything. So you have made, as of right now, you said you did 55,000 as of June, and you got 14,000 on the books for this month,
No,
or you got 14,000 for June, or you've done $14,000 in June. So you're at
yeah.
$70,000 at this year. So what have we done different that you didn't do last year that has helped you out?
Yard signs. I put yard signs everywhere now. Like we went up. I've put out, I think, I don't know how many boxes of yard signs I bought. We just buy them as we run out, but we put out signs every week, like consistently. And really a big thing is all them people that we worked for last year, like we just try to be real personable. We don't just go wash and leave. Like we'll stay, try to chat with them, like build a relationship with them people. So all our work, like a bunch of our work this year has came from previous customers and referrals, a lot of our work. And then, like I said, yard signs and Google My Business, since we're higher up in the rankings now. But yeah.
So Would have you done so? Obviously, I've been hitting on building the relationship. We've hit on it in the marketing. I know between me and Chris and everybody else, we've hit on that a lot, and that is true for anybody, right? If you don't build that relationship, it's hard to be able to know what it is, right? And if we start learning about people and we start doing, kind of the love language, and we hit on the disc and people like that, how has that changed your sales process by doing those different things?
How has it changed my sales process from last year?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. How it's changed my process.
Well, for one, I know we had talked about sales and different things and how we talk to people and how we can overcome objections, but how have we, and I know I've talked about it some too, and we've talked about knowing your love languages and learning that so we can talk to people and hit on those things versus not doing those things.
With the love language, that's a big thing. That's why I got to get to your in-person training, because like literally with the knocking we got, like because I'm not going to lie. Like when I tell you we knock every day, that don't mean I know what I'm doing. Like Chris Johnson, I don't sound like him when I'm knocking. Like I'm up there, I say a little spew, and yeah, I got to get to your in-person class to get that love language and all that stuff down. Cause I mean, I'd be hitting it out of the park. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because like I said, I'm just an average person. Like I don't got no big speech. I'm not good at talking with people. I just go up there and got a thing I stick to.
Now, one thing, do you like wear a uniform when you're doing all these door knocking, or do you just wear all street clothes and act like you just go that way when you're doing your door knocking?
Oh no, I wear nice clothes, new shoes. I keep my shirt tucked in. I got my uniform, my hat. Yeah,
So
I'm presentable.
Chris put, now start getting the referrals. Be relentless on asking referrals, and that's with everybody for sure. And then you belong, or you're awesome is what he put. You belong here. So, what's your goal for 2023?
My goal for 2023 is to do 100,000 in pressure washing and 100,000 in Christmas lights.
And 200 in Christmas lights.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, obviously last year you started doing Christmas lights. I know this is the pressure washing channel, but it did help you in your sales and or in your money coming in. How was your Christmas light season for your first year?
My Christmas light season for my first year was amazing. We did 35,000 from I think November 1st till December 10th. So like in a month and 10 days, we did 35,000. I didn't put out one door hanger. I bought door hangers. I bought business cards. I bought all that. And I never had to hand out one. We bought 200 yard signs, and I put them 200 yard signs up. And with them 200 yard signs, we was getting 15 to 20, sometimes 25 calls every single day. I mean, we got bombarded with Christmas light calls. It was absolutely mind blowing. That was another thing. Jason said, if you don't make 30,000 in Christmas lights, and I'm thinking, I've never did this. I have no idea what I'm doing. There ain't no way we're going to make 30,000. And then 10 came, 20 came. I'm like, we're going to do this. Like, this is mind boggling to me. So yeah, I mean, it took off.
So you did $35,000 in Christmas lights. So how did that help you get through the winter months for the second year?
Oh my goodness, it helped immensely. Without that, I'd be back in the factory. Like no lie, I was going back to the factory. But them Christmas lights strung it out to where we had enough money to make it through till we started pressure washing. Yes, Christmas lights is amazing.
So obviously you haven't been trained in business or anything like that. How has what are some struggles that you've had to overcome and learn in doing this pressure washing Christmas light business?
Really, I mean, the biggest struggle is staying consistent. Like you're going to go 3 days, you're going to go 4 days, you might go a whole week sometimes and go out from morning till night and you get no's every day, but you got to keep getting up and you got to keep going out there. Like you have got to stay consistent. That's the biggest thing, especially for new people. Like, I know there's days where you want to give up, and I know there's days where you could go back to your job and make easy money. But the way I look at it is, I'd rather work for myself and just barely scrape by than go to work for somebody else and make them rich. And
Did
you
you
just got to
believe?
stay
Did you
consistent.
believe or think that you could make $100,000 running your own business?
Never. I thought. I mean, I've never even dreamed of making 100,000 a year. Like, especially from where I've came from. Like, I mean, yeah, I've never ever thought I'd make this kind of money. It's like I never.
You were living on the street before you went to rehab, right?
I was living on the street in abandoned houses, anywhere where I could find to stay. Yes, I was on the street, no job, no nothing. Burn every bridge I had. I mean, I had nothing.
What are you doing moving forward so we don't go back to that?
Oh, I do all kinds of stuff. I do AA meetings and NA meetings, and I got a support network. I got a sponsor.
Okay. I'm just
Church is the biggest thing. God, like, God really, like, just giving my life to God, and my fiance, like I said, and just being there for my family. Like, now that I am in the position I'm in, I'm able to be there. I have a daughter. Like I said, I'm always, like, I got her probably 4, 5, sometimes 7 days a week. She's here. You know what I mean? I get her all the time now.
Did
And
you have
being,
her before you started your pressure washing business that much?
no, I'd have her on the weekends every once in a while. Like I said, every other week on the weekends. Yeah, nothing like I do now. I can be here as a father for her and be here for my family.
And is
And it's
that
amazing.
awesome or what?
Dude, it is beyond incredible. Like, that is my biggest thing, like, where I would never turn back, because like I said, I have so much to lose and I have everything. Like, it's the best life ever. It really is.
And I know there's a lot of other stories on here that have the same thing. And maybe there's people that ain't got to the spot that you are. What would you tell that person?
There's hope. I mean, there's hope. I never knew nobody who was clean, really. Like out on the streets, all the people I was around, I never knew nobody who was clean. I didn't know you could get clean. Like, I never heard of people going to rehab and coming out, because all the people I was around were addicts. So, I mean, there is hope. Like, you get yourself help, you find you a treatment center, and do what they tell you, and there is hope. You can make it.
So that's awesome, right? And that's my goal, right? And you are going to hit. I mean, last year you did 85,000 as a business, or almost 90,000 as a business last year. This year you're going to do $200,000, and so as you do this, right? Um, these are things that you have to learn. So as a business, what was, I know I hit on this a little bit earlier, but what's one thing that you had, what was one fear that you've had to overcome so that you could keep moving forward?
Really, I don't know so much as a fear, but like bills, because like I said, we had to pay our bills, all that, like, just not giving up. Like, that's something I had to overcome. Really, like, hearing all them no's too, it can get down on you. Like, there was plenty of days where me and my fiance, like, I'd tell her, like, if I'm feeling down, you got to pump me up. If you're feeling down, I'll pump you up. Cause I mean, hearing no day in and day out, and then coming home thinking, man, we got these bills coming in, we got a truck payment. Like, how are we going to do this? Like, just do not give up. Stay out there, stay with it, and stay consistent.
So someone asked, where are you located again? He's in Springfield, Ohio,
Springfield,
but
Ohio.
you kind of covered Dayton too, correct?
Yeah, we branch. I do Vandalia, Troy, Tip City, Huber Heights. I do like about 30 minutes all the way around Springfield.
Yeah. So that's kind of where he's located at. In 2009, I made $11,000 pressure washing, more than 1,000% of that. I never could have imagined, but didn't give up. Right, and that is a hard thing to not give up. Someone, and if you all got questions here, I will put it up.